Hello everyone, and welcome to another exciting numismatic adventure. Today, we will explore a fascinating collection of Roosevelt dimes from different years, including the 1966, 1967, 1974D, 1976, and 1977 issues. Each of these coins carries its own unique history, design features, and connection to the legacy of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. From the transition to clad coinage after the Coinage Act of 1965, to the significance of mint marks and circulated condition collectibles, these dimes tell an important story about American history and currency. Whether you are an experienced coin collector, a beginner in numismatics, or simply curious about rare and historic coins, this collection offers valuable insights into the world of U.S. coinage. Join us as we examine the details, history, mintage, composition, value, and collectible appeal of these remarkable Roosevelt dimes. Let's discover what makes these coins special and why they continue to attract collectors around the world. Thank you for watching, and let's begin our journey into the history of the Roosevelt dime collection. Sparkle. The 1966 Roosevelt dime is one of the most recognizable coins of the modern United States coinage system. It was struck during a significant period in American numismatic history when the U.S. Mint was responding to a nationwide coin shortage. The coin carries the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and the year 1966 on the obverse, while the reverse displays United States of America, 1 dime, and EPLURIBUS UNUM. A 1966 dime without a mint mark was produced primarily at the main minting facilities, because mint marks were temporarily removed from all U.S. coins from 1965 through 1967 to discourage coin collectors from hoarding newly issued coins. The Roosevelt dime series was first introduced in 1946 to honor the life and legacy of Franklin D. Roosevelt, who served as the 32nd President of the United States. Roosevelt was instrumental in helping establish the March of Dimes campaign, which fought against polio, a disease that affected millions worldwide. Following his death in 1945, the U.S. government decided to place his portrait on the dime because of his strong association with the March of Dimes organization. The obverse of the 1966 Roosevelt dime features a left-facing portrait of President Roosevelt designed by John R. Sinek. The word Liberty appears along the left side of the coin, while In God We Trust is located below Roosevelt's chin. The date, 1966, appears to the right of the portrait. The design is simple yet elegant, and has remained one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. On the reverse side, a torch occupies the center of the design, symbolizing liberty. An olive branch appears to the left of the torch, representing peace, while an oak branch on the right symbolizes strength and independence. Around the edge are the inscriptions United States of America and 1 dime. The national motto EPLURIBUS UNUM, meaning out of many, one, is positioned across the center. The year 1966 falls within an important transition period for American coinage. Prior to 1965, dimes contained 90% silver. However, due to rising silver prices and increasing demand for circulating coinage, the U.S. government enacted the Coinage Act of 1965. This legislation removed silver from dimes and quarters intended for circulation. As a result, the 1966 Roosevelt dime was struck using a copper-nickel clad composition consisting of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. The coin weighs approximately 2.268 grams and measures 17.91 millimeters in diameter. It has a reeded edge and a metallic appearance that differs slightly from the bright white color of earlier silver dimes. Because of its clad composition, the edge of the coin reveals a copper-colored stripe when viewed from the side. No mint marks were placed on dimes dated 1966. During the years 1965, 1966, and 1967, the U.S. Mint intentionally removed mint marks from circulating coinage. This was done to discourage collectors from searching for coins from specific mint facilities, which officials believed contributed to coin shortages. Therefore, every genuine 1966 Roosevelt dime intended for circulation lacks a mint mark regardless of where it was produced. The mintage of the 1966 Roosevelt dime was extremely high, exceeding hundreds of millions of pieces. Because so many were produced, these coins remain common in circulation and are frequently found in collections, coin rolls, and old change jars. Most circulated examples are worth only face value or a small premium above face value unless they possess exceptional condition or a rare error. Collectors often search for high-grade examples of the 1966 Roosevelt dime. Coins graded mint state by professional grading services can command significantly higher values than circulated specimens. A coin with strong luster, minimal contact marks, and sharp details may be worth several dollars or more, depending on its certified grade. Another area of interest involves mint errors. Some 1966 Roosevelt dimes have been discovered with off-center strikes, clipped planchets, doubled dies, die cracks, or other minting abnormalities. Such errors can increase a coin's value considerably, especially if the error is dramatic and well-preserved. The historical significance of the 1966 Roosevelt dime extends beyond its face value. It represents a pivotal moment in U.S. coinage history when the nation moved away from silver circulating coinage. This transition marked the beginning of the modern clad coin era that continues today. For beginning collectors, the 1966 Roosevelt dime is an affordable and accessible coin. It serves as an excellent example of mid-20th century American coinage and provides insight into the economic and political challenges that influence changes in U.S. mint production practices. While most examples are common, carefully examining coins for exceptional condition or unusual mint errors can make collecting this issue both enjoyable and rewarding. Today, the 1966 Roosevelt dime remains a popular piece among coin enthusiasts worldwide. Whether found in pocket change, inherited from a family collection, or purchased from a coin dealer, it represents an important chapter in American numismatic history. Its connection to Franklin D. Roosevelt, the elimination of silver from circulating dimes, and the temporary removal of mint marks make it a fascinating coin that continues to attract collectors more than half a century after its release. The next up top two, the 1967 Roosevelt dime, is one of the most historically significant modern United States coins. Bearing the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date 1967 on the obverse, and United States of America, one dime, and EPLURIBUS UNUM on the reverse, this coin represents an important period in American monetary history. A circulated 1967 Roosevelt dime has spent years in commerce and typically shows varying degrees of wear, yet it remains an interesting and collectible coin because it was produced during the final year in which mint marks were intentionally omitted from circulating U.S. coinage. The Roosevelt dime series was introduced in 1946 to honor the memory of Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt served the United States through some of its most difficult years, including the Great Depression and World War II. He was also closely associated with the March of Dimes, a campaign dedicated to combating polio. Following his death in 1945, the U.S. government selected the dime denomination to commemorate his life and achievements. The obverse of the 1967 Roosevelt dime features Roosevelt's left-facing portrait designed by John R. Sinek. The word Liberty appears along the left rim, while the motto In God We Trust is located beneath Roosevelt's neck. The year 1967 appears to the right of the portrait. On circulated examples, The highest points of Roosevelt's hair, cheek, and jawline often display noticeable wear, while heavily circulated pieces may have smoother surfaces and reduced detail. The reverse design is equally symbolic. A torch stands prominently in the center, representing liberty and enlightenment. To the left is an olive branch symbolizing peace, while an oak branch on the right symbolizes strength and endurance. Around the rim are the inscriptions, United States of America and 1 dime. Across the center is the Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. This design has remained largely unchanged throughout the Roosevelt Dimes series and is widely recognized by collectors around the world. One of the defining features of the 1967 Roosevelt dime is the absence of a mint mark. From 1965 through 1967, the United States Mint removed mint marks from circulating coinage. This decision was implemented in response to a severe coin shortage. Government officials believed collectors were hoarding coins from specific mint facilities, reducing the number of coins available for everyday use. Consequently, all dimes, quarters, and half dollars struck during these years lacked mint marks regardless of where they were produced. The 1967 Roosevelt dime was struck under the authority of the Coinage Act of 1965. This legislation dramatically changed American coinage by eliminating silver from circulating dimes and quarters. Prior to 1965, dimes contained 90% silver. However, rising silver prices and increasing production costs forced the government to adopt a new composition. As a result, the 1967 Roosevelt dime was struck using a copper-nickel-clad structure consisting of outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. The coin weighs approximately 2.268 grams and measures 17.91 millimeters in diameter. It features a reeded edge and a metallic appearance that differs from earlier silver dimes. When viewed from the side, the copper core is visible as a reddish stripe between the outer nickel layers, making it easy to distinguish from pre-1965 silver issues. Production of the 1967 Roosevelt dime reached exceptionally high levels. Hundreds of millions of examples were struck to help alleviate the national coin shortage. Because of this large mintage, the coin remains common today and can frequently be found in old collections, coin rolls, dealer inventories, and occasionally in circulation. Most circulated examples carry only modest collector value unless they possess unusual characteristics or exceptional preservation. Circulated condition coins are graded according to the amount of wear they display. A coin in good condition may have significant smoothing of details, while a fine example retains stronger design features. Very fine and extremely fine specimens exhibit progressively less wear and sharper details. The better the condition, the more desirable the coin becomes to collectors assembling Roosevelt dime sets. Many numismatists search for mint errors among 1967 Roosevelt dimes. Some of the most desirable varieties include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, doubled dies, die cracks, and struck-through errors. While most 1967 dimes are ordinary circulation pieces, rare error coins can command premiums far above face value, especially when authenticated and professionally graded. The historical importance of the 1967 Roosevelt dime extends beyond its design and composition. It marks the final year of the 3-year period during which mint marks were suspended. Beginning in 1968, mint marks returned to U.S. coinage, making 1967 the last Roosevelt dime issued without a mint mark due to official policy. This fact alone gives the coin a unique place in American numismatic history. Collectors often appreciate the 1967 Roosevelt dime because it represents the early years of clad coinage. It serves as a reminder of the economic pressures that led the United States to abandon silver circulating coinage. The transition affected millions of Americans and permanently changed the appearance and composition of the nation's pocket change. Even though the 1967 Roosevelt dime is common, it remains an important educational coin. It helps collectors understand the history of U.S. coin production, the impact of the Coinage Act of 1965, and the government's efforts to address coin shortages. For beginners, it is an affordable and accessible coin that offers a direct connection to a pivotal period in American monetary history. Today, the 1967 Roosevelt dime continues to be collected by enthusiasts around the world. Whether found in circulated condition, preserved in an old collection, or discovered in a coin roll hunt, it remains a lasting symbol of a transformative era in United States coinage. Its connection to President Roosevelt, the elimination of silver, and the temporary removal of mint marks make it one of the most interesting dimes of the 20th century. The next up, top 3, the 1977 Roosevelt dime, is a classic modern United States coin that continues to attract the interest of collectors and historians alike. Bearing the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date 1977 on the obverse, along with United States of America, 1 dime, and EPLURIBUS UNUM on the reverse, this coin represents an important chapter in the long-running Roosevelt dime series. A circulated 1977 Roosevelt dime has spent years in everyday commerce and therefore shows varying levels of wear, including smoothing of design details, light scratches, contact marks, and surface abrasions caused by regular handling and use. The Roosevelt dime series was introduced in 1946 to honor the memory of Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt was one of the most influential leaders in American history, guiding the nation through the Great Depression and World War II. He was also closely associated with the March of Dimes, which helped combat the devastating effects of polio. Because of his support for this organization, the dime denomination was selected to commemorate his life and public service. The obverse of the 1977 Roosevelt dime features Roosevelt's left-facing portrait designed by John R. Sinek. The word Liberty appears along the left rim, while the national motto In God We Trust is positioned below Roosevelt's chin and neck area. The date 1977 is displayed to the right of the portrait. In circulated condition, the highest points of Roosevelt's hair, ear, cheek, and jawline often show the greatest wear. Depending on the amount of circulation, some finer details may be partially worn away, while the major design elements remain visible. The reverse side displays a symbolic design centered around a torch representing liberty and enlightenment. An olive branch appears on the left side of the torch and symbolizes peace, while an oak branch appears on the right side and symbolizes strength and stability. Around the border are the inscriptions, United States of America and 1 dime. The national motto, EPLURIBUS UNUM, meaning out of many, one, stretches across the center of the design. Even on circulated examples, these inscriptions generally remain clear and readable. Unlike the dimes of 1965, 1966, and 1967, the 1977 Roosevelt dime normally carries a mint mark if struck at certain facilities. However, if your coin genuinely has no mint mark, it was most likely produced at the main mint facility in Philadelphia. During 1977, Philadelphia dimes did not display a mint mark, while coins struck at the Denver Mint carried a D mint mark. Therefore, a 1977 Roosevelt dime without a mint mark is generally considered a normal Philadelphia issue rather than a rare variety. The 1977 Roosevelt dime is composed of a copper-nickel-clad structure. It contains outer layers made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. This composition was introduced following the Coinage Act of 1965, which eliminated silver from circulating dimes and quarters. Rising silver prices had made silver coin production increasingly expensive, prompting the government to adopt a more economical clad composition. The coin weighs approximately 2.268 grams and measures 17.91 millimeters in diameter. It features a reeded edge consisting of numerous small grooves around the circumference. One easy way to distinguish a clad dime from a pre-1965 silver dime is by examining the edge. The copper core creates a visible reddish-brown stripe along the edge, whereas silver dimes display a solid silver-colored edge. The year 1977 was part of a period of economic adjustment in the United States. Inflation and changing economic conditions influenced daily life, and coins such as the Roosevelt Dimes circulated heavily throughout the nation. Millions of Americans used these dimes in vending machines, public telephones, transportation systems, and everyday purchases. As a result, many surviving examples today show moderate to heavy circulation wear. The mintage of the 1977 Roosevelt dime was extremely large. Hundreds of millions of examples were produced to meet the nation's demand for circulating coinage. Because of this substantial production, the coin remains common today and can often be found in old collections, coin jars, and rolls obtained from banks. Most circulated examples are worth only face value or a modest premium above face value. Coin grading plays a major role in determining the value of a 1977 Roosevelt dime. A heavily circulated example, graded good or very good, may show considerable wear, while coins in fine or very fine condition retain stronger details. Extremely fine examples display only light wear on the highest points. Uncirculated coins with original mint luster are significantly more desirable and valuable to collectors. Many collectors search for error varieties among 1977 Roosevelt dimes. Potential mint errors include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, doubled dies, broad strikes, and struck-through errors. While such pieces are relatively rare compared to normal issues, they can command substantial premiums depending on the type and severity of the error. The historical significance of the 1977 Roosevelt dime extends beyond its monetary value. It serves as a representative example of modern American coinage during the clad era. It reflects the continuation of the Roosevelt dime design that has remained in use for decades and demonstrates the long-lasting influence of Franklin D. Roosevelt on American culture and history. For beginning collectors, the 1977 Roosevelt dime is an excellent coin to study. Its affordability and availability make it easy to obtain, while its connection to important events in U.S. coinage history provides valuable educational opportunities. Collectors often include the coin in Roosevelt dime datainment sets and use it as a reference for understanding grading standards and mint production techniques. Today, the 1977 Roosevelt dime remains a familiar and widely collected coin. Whether discovered in circulation, inherited as part of a family collection, or purchased from a coin dealer, it continues to tell the story of American commerce, economic change, and numismatic tradition. Even in circulated condition, the coin remains a lasting tribute to President Franklin D. Roosevelt and an enduring symbol of modern United States coinage. The next up top for the 1976 Roosevelt dime is a fascinating coin from the United States Mint and an important part of modern American numismatic history. The coin bears the inscriptions "Liberty, in God we trust," and the date 1976 on the obverse, while the reverse displays United States of America, 1 dime, and EPLURIBUS UNUM. Although millions of these coins were produced and circulated throughout the country, they remain popular among collectors because of their connection to America's bicentennial era and the long-running Roosevelt Dime series. The Roosevelt Dime series began in 1946 following the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt was one of the most influential leaders in American history and played a major role in guiding the nation through the Great Depression and World War II. He was also closely associated with the March of Dimes, an organization dedicated to fighting polio. Because of this connection, the United States selected the dime denomination to honor his memory. The obverse design of the 1976 Roosevelt dime features a left-facing portrait of President Roosevelt created by John R. Sinek. Along the left side of the coin appears the word Liberty, while the motto "In God We Trust" is positioned below the portrait. The date, 1976, is located to the right. On circulated examples, the highest points of Roosevelt's hair, cheek, and jawline often show wear from years of handling and commercial use. The reverse design remains one of the most recognizable in American coinage. At the center is a torch symbolizing liberty. To the left is an olive branch representing peace, while an oak branch appears on the right representing strength and endurance. The inscriptions, United States of America and one dime surround the design, while EPLURIBUSUNUM, meaning out of many one, is displayed across the center. Even in circulated condition, most examples retain clear lettering and recognizable design details. If your 1976 Roosevelt dime has no mint mark, it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. During 1976, dimes minted in Philadelphia did not carry a mint mark, while those produced in Denver carried a D mint mark. Therefore, a 1976 dime without a mint mark is generally considered a normal Philadelphia issue and is not automatically rare. Collectors frequently encounter these coins in circulation and collections. The year 1976 was especially important in United States history because it marked the nation's bicentennial, celebrating 200 years since the signing of the United States Declaration of Independence. While special bicentennial designs were issued for quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins, the dime retained its standard Roosevelt design. Nevertheless, every 1976 Roosevelt dime was struck during this historic anniversary year, giving it added historical appeal. The coin is composed of a copper-nickel-clad alloy. Following the Coinage Act of 1965, silver was removed from circulating dimes and quarters. The 1976 Roosevelt dime consists of outer layers made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. This composition reduced production costs and ensured a stable supply of coinage for everyday commerce. The 1976 Roosevelt dime weighs approximately 2.268 grams and measures 17.91 millimeters in diameter. It features a reeded edge consisting of numerous vertical grooves. A visible copper stripe along the edge distinguishes it from pre-1965 silver dimes, which have a solid silver-colored edge. During 1976, hundreds of millions of Roosevelt dimes were produced to meet the demands of commerce. Because of this high mintage, circulated examples remain common today. Many people still discover 1976 dimes in old coin jars, inherited collections, bank rolls, and occasionally in everyday change. Most circulated examples are worth face value or only a small premium unless they possess unusual characteristics. The condition of a circulated 1976 Roosevelt dime significantly affects its collector value. Coins graded good or very good show extensive wear, while fine and very fine examples retain more detail. Extremely fine specimens display only moderate wear on the highest points of the design. Uncirculated examples with original mint luster are considerably more desirable and can command higher prices. Collectors often search for mint errors among 1976 Roosevelt dimes. Potential errors include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, broad strikes, die cracks, double dies, and struck-through varieties. Such error coins are uncommon and may carry substantial premiums depending on their rarity and visual appeal. The historical significance of the 1976 Roosevelt dime lies not only in its connection to President Roosevelt, but also in its association with America's bicentennial year. It circulated during a time of national celebration, patriotic events, and commemorative coin programs. As a result, many collectors view it as an interesting representation of the United States during the mid-1970s. For beginning collectors, The 1976 Roosevelt dime provides an affordable entry point into coin collecting. Its availability makes it easy to obtain, while its historical background offers valuable educational insights into American history and coin production. Many Roosevelt dime collectors include the 1976 issue as part of complete daytime mint collections. Today, the 1976 Roosevelt dime remains a widely collected coin and a lasting symbol of modern American coinage. Whether found in circulation, stored in a family collection, or purchased from a coin dealer, it continues to tell the story of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the evolution of U.S. coinage, and the celebration of America's 200th anniversary. Even in circulated condition, it remains an important and meaningful piece of numismatic history. The next up, top 5, the 1974 D. Roosevelt dime is an important coin in the modern history of United States coinage. This coin bears the familiar inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date 1974 on the obverse, while the reverse displays United States of America, 1 dime, and EPLURIBUS UNUM. The small D mint mark found on the obverse indicates that the coin was struck at the famous Denver Mint. In circulated condition, the coin has spent years in everyday commerce and typically shows signs of wear, including smoothing of details, minor scratches, rim marks, and evidence of handling. The Roosevelt Dime series was first introduced in 1946 to honor the memory of Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt served the nation during some of its most challenging periods, including the Great Depression and World War II. He was also closely connected to the March of Dimes, which raised funds to combat polio. Following his death in 1945, the United States government selected the dime denomination as a tribute to his leadership and humanitarian efforts. The obverse of the 1974 D. Roosevelt dime features Roosevelt's left-facing portrait designed by John R. Sinek. The word Liberty appears prominently along the left side of the coin, while In God We Trust is positioned beneath Roosevelt's neck. The date, 1974, appears to the right of the portrait, and just above the date is the small D mint mark, identifying the Denver Mint as the place of production. The reverse design is rich in symbolism and has remained largely unchanged throughout the Roosevelt Dime series. At the center is a torch representing liberty and enlightenment. To the left is an olive branch symbolizing peace, while to the right is an oak branch representing strength, stability, and national endurance. Surrounding these elements are the inscriptions United States of America and 1 dime. Across the center appears the Latin motto EPLURIBUS UNUM, which translates as out of many, one. The 1974 D. Roosevelt dime was struck using a copper-nickel clad composition. Following the Coinage Act of 1965, silver was removed from circulating dimes and quarters due to rising silver prices. The coin consists of outer layers made from 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. This composition allowed the United States Mint to continue producing coins efficiently while maintaining durability in circulation. The dime weighs approximately 2.268 grams and has a diameter of 17.91 millimeters. It features a reeded edge containing numerous narrow grooves around the circumference. Unlike pre-1965 silver dimes, the edge of a 1974 D. Roosevelt dime reveals a visible copper-colored stripe due to its clad composition. During the early 1970s, the United States economy experienced inflation and changing monetary conditions. Coins such as the 1974 D. Roosevelt dime circulated extensively through banks, stores, vending machines, and public transportation systems. As a result, many surviving examples display noticeable wear from decades of commercial use. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of dimes during 1974. Because of this large mintage, the 1974 D. Roosevelt dime remains common today. Collectors frequently encounter these coins in circulation, coin rolls, estate collections, and dealer inventories. Most circulated examples carry only modest value above face value unless they possess exceptional condition or unusual mint errors. In circulated condition, grading plays an important role in determining value. Coins graded good or very good show extensive wear, while fine and very fine examples retain stronger design details. Extremely fine specimens exhibit only light wear on the highest points of the design. Collectors generally pay premiums for coins with sharper details and better overall eye appeal. Many numismatists actively search for error varieties among 1974 Roosevelt Dimes. Known mint errors may include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, doubled dies, broad strikes, and struck-through errors. Although these varieties are much less common than normal examples, they can attract strong collector interest and often command significantly higher prices. The historical significance of the 1974 Roosevelt dime extends beyond its monetary value. It represents an era when the United States had fully transitioned away from silver circulating coinage and embraced modern clad compositions. It also reflects the continuing popularity of Roosevelt's image on American coinage and the enduring legacy of his presidency. Collectors often include the 1974 Roosevelt dime in complete Roosevelt dime day-10 mint collections. Because it is affordable and widely available, it serves as an excellent coin for beginners learning about grading, mint marks, coin production, and United States history. Advanced collectors may pursue high-grade mint state examples or rare error varieties to enhance their collections. Today, the 1974 Roosevelt dime remains a familiar and respected coin among collectors worldwide. Even in circulated condition, it tells a story of American commerce, economic change, and numismatic tradition. Its connection to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, its Denver Mint origin, and its role in the modern clad coin era make it an enduring piece of United States coinage history.